today's show.
Have the Sixers figured it out? Can Kawhi get some help? And will the chippy play carry over to Game 4?
We discuss Monty Williams getting the Suns job, James Harden's eyes affecting him, and two Raptors eating their emotions.
And we count down the top 10 plays of the week.
It's Friday, May 3rd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm Jay Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, that's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey, yo! Trey, what's up tonight?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, earlier this week, Inside the NBA brought back Shaq Stradamus, let him make some predictions about all 4 playoff series. We'll see how those turn out on Sunday, but there's no way they're going to be as accurate as the predictions of our own Oracle, Ostradamus, Lee Ellis, Miss Leo himself, who once correctly predicted LeBron going to the Lakers and the exact date of a wedgie in the very same show. And that brings us to today's question. What are some more things you'd like to see Ostradamus predict? We sent the tweet out earlier today to get some ideas, and Phony OG Ananobi wrote in to say, Ostradamus, where will Kawhi Leonard play next season? You got LeBron right last year. Let's see you do it again. Do it again, Ostradamus.
Good news for Raptors fans. I think Kawhi's staying put. He's had a great season. They've taken care of him. He knows he can earn a little bit more cash, and he likes living in Canada. I think Kawhi's
This is bold, Ostradamus.
Toronto.
Wow. Somebody tweet that.
Oh, yeah.
It is known.
Somebody take that to the bank. You know it's coming true, but we still want to hear from you. So let us know on Twitter, what are some more things you want Ostradamus to predict? Send them to us at hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
All right. Yeah, keep that hat nearby. You're going to be doing that later. Okay, on tonight's show, though, we're going to talk about Monty Williams picking the Suns. He's going to head coach in Phoenix. We're going to count down the top 10 plays of the week. We got Lely's very solid play. You're going to do it with the hat on?
Of course.
All right, great. But let's start with a little true or false, looking back at that one game on in the association last night. TK, take it away.
The Sixers dominated Game 3 last night, beating the Raptors by 21 in a wire-to-wire victory. Joel Embiid went for 33, 10, 3 with 5 blocks and 100 celebrations, while Jimmy Butler put up 22, 9, and 9 with 3 steals and a block as the entire Sixers starting lineup scored in double digits. Guys, true or false, the Sixers have figured it out.
Well, I think they still are beatable. Let's not call them unbeatable, but I think they've got the best version of themselves going on. Number one, because Joel Embiid's knee looked very spry. That's important. Everything sort of focuses on that and then works out from there. Jimmy Butler, I think, is the key here. He's acting more like the point guard in this situation, operating the pick and rolls. When he was traded there in November, people were worried, maybe Jimmy's going to act out in the locker room. Well, in January, according to reports, he was in a meeting and he said, I've got to operate more in the pick and roll. And people were worried, Jimmy is angry. But Jimmy was right. This works out. He had 9 assists in this game, tying his season high. It moves Ben Simmons off the ball to be an offensive rebounder, which he is a bit of a load there because he is such a big guy. Kawhi was sort of sagging off him to help. They've just got a lot of options, and they're working on it. They junk it up a lot. There's a lot of things happening in that offense because they're very capable, all those starters.
You were predicting things on yesterday's show. You expected a good Embiid here in Game 3, and he gave it to you.
Yeah, well, Brett Brown, I think early on wanted to establish his presence back in Philadelphia in front of his home fans. Hadn't done all that well in those first 2 games. And Embiid responded, and I think what you saw was that energized his own team, it energized the crowd, and it really got him going because it wasn't just the scoring and the defense, it's all the theatrics and the drama that he brings as well, which is part of the Joel Embiid experience. Sometimes that's going to backfire on him throughout his career, but when it's on, it's great.
It's Shaq-like we were talking about off camera.
And Allen Iverson, you saw him in the crowd last night. It sort of was a bit of a Allen Iverson experience, the hand to the ear and getting the crowd going. And, he wasn't really injured in those first 2 games. He maybe had a little bit of a stomach flu there for Game 2. But I think Brett Brown just realised, this guy is getting owned right now by Marc Gasol. Let's see if we can get him going. And it really did set the table for the whole entire game.
He had a monster game. I know we're going to discuss in a second the Raptors' shortcomings and just how brutal they played in this game, but I'm glad we are giving a little love to the Sixers here. Not only them offensively, Embiid, Butler. I thought Harris was great too. Simmons did his part. But defensively is where I was really, really impressed with the Sixers. I thought they were running guys off that three-point line whenever they could. They were on a string. And it helps when you got Embiid behind you. He had 5 blocks. He blocked Kawhi twice, Siakam 3 times. And they just used that length to put a little doubt in those Raps three-point shooters and to run them off and funnel them in there to Embiid. I thought that was the best they looked on that end of the floor. And then when you paired it with a little transition game to get some easy buckets, and then go in at the pick and roll with Embiid and Butler, that was the best game I can remember in a long time here for the Sixers with this core, those 5 main starters, and then still getting the contributions from the bench. Big game from them.
Yeah, well, they haven't been around a long time.
No.
And it was interesting hearing Embiid and Butler at the postgame saying, chemistry is overrated. It just takes good players figuring it out. Listen, the Raptors were bad in a lot of areas. So this blowout, I think it's not very indicative of where the Sixers are. It's also indicative of the Raptors just having a very bad game overall across the board.
Well, let's get
but
to
you
that.
have to wonder, though, if that's going to overflow, particularly that bench. Because the Raptors bench has been awful. And
For 3 games.
Yeah, and they need to pick it up very quickly.
Absolutely. Trey, that has sort of something to do with our next question here.
You guys are right. Kawhi Leonard posted his third 30-point game of the series last night, going for 33 on 13 of 22 shooting in 36 minutes. But it's those other 12 minutes that are the problem, as once again, the Raptors offense fell completely apart when Leonard sat. His load was managed throughout the season. So guys, true or false? Kawhi needs to play all 48 minutes.
I hope this is false. He needs to play more than 33, but if he's playing 48, that's actually a bad sign for Toronto because it shows Nick Nurse doesn't have anyone else he can rely on to go out there and score. But their offensive rating when Kawhi sits is just a disaster, and it's up to not only the coaching staff, but it's up to those players, and again, the bench with Fred VanVleet and Norm Powell, to go out there and create and show that they've got an ability to go and score something, because this is really the biggest hole right now in the Raptors. We talked about it coming into the series, that could be a problem. It's really starting to show that right now.
If guys could play 48 minutes, some coach would have figured it out. If it was an effective strategy. Not even Tom Thibodeau doesn't even play guys 48 minutes. Even LeBron trying to drag those Cavs to the finals was playing like 46 minutes, and they were desperate, trying to find him rest wherever they could. Now, Kawhi played 42 minutes in Game 2. He would have got up to 42 minutes if there wasn't garbage time in this game.
Right.
And maybe he's got to get up to playing the entire second half in Game 4 if they're in the same situation. Because what happened at the beginning of the fourth quarter just can't happen again. They're down 7 when he went to the bench. It just imploded. The same thing happened when he went to the bench in the second quarter. It's 3 minutes per half. That's the scary thing. Now, he may play the entire second half, but really the bigger problem is 4 of the 8 guys in the rotation are struggling big time. They should be able to stem the tide for 3 minutes, and that's the issue. And it started from the beginning of the game with Lowry and Gasol, and they know this, passing up shots.
Yeah.
They were just not in their flow. The defense wasn't in their flow. And then, it went to the bench, and Fred VanVleet and Serge Ibaka letting guys to the rim. These guys just have to be a better version of themselves come Sunday. They have to be Marc Gasol. They have to be Kyle Lowry. They have to play to their capabilities.
Kawhi's not going to play all 48 minutes, but they'd like to clone Kawhi Leonard right now, have a couple more Kawhis out there, because this is right. I mean, Lowry's talked about it, Gasol's talked about it. They have to be better. They have to score. I mean, the bench, you don't even know at this point if any of these guys are going to be able to knock down a shot and give you anything and to hold on to leads. So that means you got to lean on your other starters, really in Lowry and Gasol, your 2 vets that have a ton of playoff experience, to shoot the ball. It's one thing to miss a bunch of shots. It's another thing to pass open shots. Gasol especially, if you go back and watch this game, multiple wide open looks. There isn't an offender within 10 feet of him. Bunch of Sixers in the paint. Gasol, wide open, and he can shoot this.
Yeah.
He can knock these down. He's got to look for that a little bit more. And with Lowry, he needs to as well. He needs to stop with the pump fakes out there, shoot it a little more in rhythm. He keeps pump faking, drawing the defense even closer, and then is forced to throw up some garbage. And when he goes inside, he just keeps looking for a foul instead of actually trying to shoot the ball, and maybe then gets the foul call. He's got it sort of backwards here. So they know this. They need to both be better, or the Raptors don't have a chance, because the Sixers played really well. They can do that again. And you need your starters to score more than, 7 points each.
Yeah.
Yes.
Intimidation isn't a stat, but you can see last night that the Raptors, knowing that someone was there challenging a shot, contesting a shot, that does affect you when you've got the ball and you're like, I don't want to get blocked. I don't want some guys charging at me, so they pass it off, hoping someone else will take the shot.
The worrisome part for the Raptors is, are they going to be the team last year that gave in to LeBron and that intimidation with LeBron shooting fadeaways, and then it was over? I think this is a bit of a different team. Do we say that every year? Oh, yeah, we do. But they don't have Kawhi. They didn't have Kawhi Leonard in the past. I think Game 4 can go either way, because I don't think the Sixers are the type of team right now to put the pedal to the metal. They haven't done that in the past. They do allow teams to come back. Game 4 is obviously the Raptors' season on the line.
Yeah, must win for the Raps. All right, final question here, Trey.
The beef starts broiling the deeper we get into a series, and last night the burgers were cooked because Ben Simmons gave Kyle Lowry's some thunder from down under, and while the refs didn't see it when it happened, Earlier today, Simmons was retroactively issued a flagrant 1 foul and $20,000 fine. This was just one of many incidents in Game 3, so true or false, the chippiness is just getting started.
Yeah, I think that's true. I wouldn't see why not.
Hit me with that chippiness.
In most series, that tends to happen. You just get tired of playing these guys and bumping against them, and you're getting upset because you're not getting this particular call, and so you get a little chippy with them. We saw a lot of it in Game 3. I mean, it wasn't just the Simmons, retroactively getting assessed that flagrant foul. Siakam, he tripped Joel Embiid and rightfully got the flagrant foul called right there. He was frustrated. He had just got blocked. He thought he got fouled. So he tripped him. He threw the leg out there and tripped the guy. And we had Lowry throwing a hip check on James Ennis. We're going to see more of this because, in a way, we should. The Raptors got embarrassed. Joel Embiid was clowning them throughout this entire game, where he did every celebration imaginable in this game. So yeah, you should, that's all they should be watching on repeat, on loop here, the Raptors should be, to fire themselves up and come out with a little more force. I think we're going to see more of it for sure.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get obvious.
Yeah, no, as long as no one's throwing punches and stuff.
I mean, the Kyle Lowry one there on Ennis, I mean, that's just a little bit of jostling. There's no harm done there. I mean, the
gamesmanship.
the Siakam one there, that's
Simple
just
chippiness.
That's a reactionary.
That's a little hip check.
That's a reactionary thing. That Siakam rightfully showed remorse on immediately. He knew he did the wrong thing and took his punishment. And the one with the Ben Simmons on Kyle Lowry's, I mean, that one's, again, the guy's right in your face.
On Kyle's Lowry's?
Yeah, you're just trying to protect your head from another man's.
Pretty similar to the Draymond Green, LeBron James way back
exactly,
when, where LeBron was
but it
standing
cost
over
him,
top of him.
and that's fine.
Yeah, it did. So we're going to see more of it for sure. And why not? It's fun. It's fun when teams don't like each other. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, lots to discuss still. Monty Williams, he picks the Suns, and we're going to talk about Harden's eyes and whether they'll affect his play this Saturday night. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Into the up-down report, let's see those thumbs. First one today, the Phoenix Suns officially announced that Monty Williams is their next head coach. Woj and others report that the deal is for 5 years. Monty is the Suns' 7th coach in an 8-season span. Yes, quite the turnaround there. And it sounds like he ultimately picked the Suns over that Lakers job. But are you guys up or down on Monty Williams coaching the Suns?
Good for Monty. I think probably part of the reason he signed with Phoenix was he said, give me 5 years, knowing how quickly coaches get shifted out of there, despite whatever good performance he puts in. It's good to see him back in there. I mean, he hasn't got a great record as a coach, but I think if he's got plenty of time to develop their young talent, things should improve. But it will also be very tough there in Phoenix, just with that ownership and front office group there.
The good thing is that there's not a ton of expectations in Phoenix. If Monty Williams wins 25 games, that would be a huge success for the Suns. They haven't won 25 games since 2015. So between Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, you just assume those guys are going to get better just getting a year older, playing in the NBA for one more season. It's easy to get 6 more wins, I would think, if those guys improve. That makes Monty Williams look like a genius.
Yep.
I guess the man likes a challenge because it will be tough with the roster, with the front office, as you mentioned. He coached the Pelicans for 5 years. He was named in 2010 their head coach. He was the youngest coach in the league back then, and then he had a couple of years experience with the Spurs front office, so I'm sure he's a lot more grizzled after that and getting that experience with some world-class organizations, Philly and the Spurs.
All right, next one, guys. James Harden might need goggles for all we know. After getting poked in the eyes on Tuesday, Harden spent the rest of the game squinting and shutting his eyes. They looked red and bloody. But Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports reports that some Warriors are doubting the severity of Harden's injury, and they think he's playing it up a little bit. Yes, we go into Game 3. Are you up or down on Harden's eyes affecting him, in Game 3 and throughout this series here? Okay.
I think I'm voting for I don't think that his eyes are going to affect him in Game 3. I think they were affecting him in Game 2 because he had all the symptoms of a guy getting hit in the eyes. His eyes were super red. It looked like it hurt, and anytime he looked up into the lights, when the lights are the brightest at the free throw line, he was squinting. If you ever get poked in the eye with like a piece of paper, it kills.
Yeah.
But then you sleep for a night and it feels pretty much better the next day. Harden's had 3 days. He should be fine.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's just that visual that you see the bloodshot eyes and it doesn't actually affect his vision or anything like that.
Right. It just looks grosser.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, because we want everyone at full strength for these games and this series. We don't want anyone to sort of be able to point to a situation where a guy couldn't see. Although Steph Curry couldn't see for a couple of years.
It's context, no problem.
Steph Curry has never been able to see until the last couple of months.
Yeah, the Warriors were referring to Game 2, and let's talk about that. It was definitely affecting him, even though he didn't score before he got injured, and then he had 29 points after. He could see. So, listen, he could see somewhat, even though after the game he said, I can't see now. There's no chance. Like the way he draws fouls, I think he was exaggerating that. He exaggerates the contact, he was exaggerating a little bit, but it was definitely affecting.
Does James Harden have to have a monster game on Saturday night for this to have any chance of being a series? I'm talking James Harden, 50-point, triple-double type of night.
I mean, because something like that could really establish himself again as his confidence going back against the Rockets. That could carry over in the series. So yes, I mean,
because he's struggled over the last 5 games or so. It's not just here in this Warriors series.
Yeah.
He was struggling down the stretch of that Jazz series, and they sort of figured him out a little bit. And he hit shots.
He's only got Kevin Durant numbers in this Warriors series. He's got 29 a game.
I know. They got to ask a lot more from him. All right, final one here, guys. Last night, after getting crushed by 21 points, Raptors starters Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, they decided they needed a little pick-me-up, something to make them feel a little bit better after that bad loss, right? Which is why the two of them were spotted ordering cookies at 1 a.m. from Insomnia Cookies in Philly. Yeah, properly named place. Guys, my question for you, not whether you like cookies, are you up or down on emotional eating? Tough loss, they're feeling it, down.
I hate to do it, but it feels so good when you do. A little sad, crush some cookies, why not?
Yeah, it's great when you are consuming it. You go, this is great. And then you regret it the next day, but it's fine. Do
you think they woke up regretting it? Is that what you're saying?
They probably got to the gym and burned off that sugar.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they're professional athletes. They'll be fine. But it shows that they were doing some serious bonding because, as far as I know, here in Atlanta, Insomnia delivers. They didn't just get it delivered to their hotel. They went out and got it together. They said, let's do this. Let's buddy cop and get out there. They got some cookies.
Do you think Lowry picked up the tab because he kept saying he had to help out Kawhi Leonard in that game? Like, let me get this, smooth things over a little bit. I think it's in play. Well, let's hear from you guys. Let's see those thumbs out on Twitter. Hashtag the starters, thumbs up or thumbs down for all 3 of those. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to count down the top 10 plays of the week here in the postseason. Some good defense, some solid dimes. Welcome back to the starters, where it's time to count down the top 10 plays of the week. Let's start at number 10. That makes sense. And if you saw this Getty image, you would have thought this was the greatest dunk of all time. Jaylen Brown getting one on Giannis. Still pretty good. Number 10 on our list, but I mean, the Getty image was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
At number 9, the Warriors have made it a priority to get out on the break this postseason. When they get out, they are deadly, especially with dishes like that.
Yeah, that is a nice pass.
Spin sham it around.
That guy hasn't been having late night cookies.
He used to. Not anymore, not anymore. All right, back to Jaylen Brown at number 8. Looking like Michael Jordan here. Sometimes I dream.
Whoa.
Yeah. Takes the contact, turns his back, floats in the air, flips it over his head, hisses it off the glass.
Jaylen Brown is going to be loving this top 10. 2 plays on Giannis, come on.
Good start.
Looking good so far. At number 7, the young Zach Collins. Getting back with the block there.
My goodness.
Seems like he's all turned around, but he recovers real nicely on Will Barton. Will throwing a little bit of a chicken wing, too.
Yeah.
Zach getting through it.
Perfectly timed. At number 6, we'll stick with that Nuggets-Blazers series, and it's Malik Beasley throwing down in transition. A little shocking.
Yeah, he just exploded.
Exactly.
Al Farouk, smart.
Yeah.
At number 5, we've got 2 lefty slams. Starting with Giannis, he loves these lefty slams getting in the lane. Too easy.
I know. It makes it
He just decides to dunk. He's like, oh yeah, I actually am close. Sure.
We also have 2 very large left hands in number 5 because Kawhi's just palming this thing.
He just palmed it on the dribble.
Oh,
Good tennis ball.
jumps off the wrong leg, too.
Iverson must have loved that carry right there.
At number 4, little defense, Al Horford rejecting the Greek Freak. I mean, they get him a couple times here, a little help D there from Tatum, and then Horford denies him.
Anytime the ball goes straight down on a block, pretty cool.
That was fantastic. At number 3, it's Gary Harris. Backdoor, up and under. Very nice. He's almost on the ground when he lets that baby go. A lot of English.
Yeah.
With a reverse like that, we should call him Harry Garris.
Great. Now I'm always going to call him Harry Garris. Watch. Just watch. At number 2, we got 2 nutmeg dimes. Lowry through the wickets.
Wow. You don't even see where that
Ben Simmons. Yeah. There it is. Nice finish from Siakam. Pretty solid, but this one even better. The Joker. Through the legs of Aminu.
Tough couple of plays for Al
Yeah.
Farouk.
Jalen Brown a fan. Al Farouk Aminu,
Yeah,
not so much.
Great passes.
And at number 1, it's another 7-footer doing guard-like things. The windmill from Joel Embiid.
Into the airplane.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Raptors having shades of LeBron doing stuff.
This is shades of Shaq.
Yeah.
A huge dunk to a crowd-pleasing celebration to another crowd-pleasing celebration.
There it is. Top 10 plays of the week when we come back. Lily makes a few more predictions and a very solid play.
Oh, nice.
We got 2 games on this Friday night, both on ESPN. Bucks Celtics Game 3, that series tied at 1 game apiece. And then Nuggets Blazers in Portland, same deal with that one. That's your late game. All right, we asked you for some other things that Ostradamus here could predict. Lily himself, what do you got, Trey?
Some good questions. Aristoteles wants to know the draft lottery. As a Bulls fan, I can't wait 11 more days. I need to know now. If the Bulls will land Zion, I also need to know.
Ooh, who lands him?
Bad luck. Zion is coming to my Knicks next season.
Oh,
the Knicks
the
are
Knicks.
back.
All right, fair enough. You're going to like this one then, Lee. For your Knicks, Zion's nickname in the NBA will be the blank.
The Flying Zion.
All right, sounds good. Moving on. Okay. Will Vince Carter retire as a Raptor?
I don't see this one happening, unfortunately, because I think Vince doesn't just want to go up there for a token. He wants to keep on playing. He's going to go somewhere. He might even stay here down at the Fortress.
Are you getting tired by doing that with your
No,
arms?
it's beautiful.
Yeah, your arms are going to be
Great.
jacked by
Yeah,
the end of this.
yeah.
As an unbiased non-Game of Thrones watcher, who sits on the Iron Throne at the end?
Aria.
Is that the only person you know?
That is a person.
I keep hearing her name all week, so it has to be her. Or Bran, that's the other
Final
one.
prediction is a big one, Lee. Will we get to 50 wedgies, or do we need another sacrifice?
Book it. We are getting 50 wedgies.
Yeah.
I
Love
guarantee it.
that
Guarantee it.
Yeah. Watch your neck. Watch your neck. Look at those ears.
I'm going to wear this on the beach this summer in Mexico. It's great.
Like, cover your neck, cover your head. All right, very solid play.
Yeah, going out to Philadelphia, this was one of the plays that actually did work here for the Raptors. Look, it's Kawhi making a pass out to Kyle for 3. Watch this. Well, oh, no. Finds Pascal. That's beautiful. That's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid indeed. We recorded a drop podcast. We talked about all 4 conference semifinals matchups and a whole lot more. Lee shared a fun story about the time he nearly fought himself, but it was just him looking in a mirror. You got a call?
Yeah, I got a call. Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, Nora wants to know what you're having for dinner tonight.
Why would she be
Shouldn't
asking
you know?
No, she's asking me to ask you.
My wife called,
you, yeah.
My wife called you to
I thought you
ask
predict-
me.
I thought
what
you
she's
know the
making for
future.
dinner.
No, I'm saying, like, she just called. Hey, you
Just
speak
let me
to
talk
her.
to her. Yeah. No, he's slow. Yeah, no, he's fine.
That's
Brace
a
the
good
weekend,
bit.
people.